Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, back with another important session. We have one of our masterclass students, TJ, here. He's going to share his experience with the VIP 101 mentorship program. I know a lot of you have questions about that. What's the mentorship like? How available am I? Do I really spend time with my people 101? How does it work? So we'll dive into some of that. If you're new to the channel, one, make sure you stick around to the end because this is going to answer a lot of the questions that you have. And we're going to learn about the 6-unit deal that TJ is in right now. So how he got that deal, leveraging the resources. So make sure you stick around to the end so you can learn everything. But if you're new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe. For everyone who leaves that comment, I'll send you instant access to my free real estate training that'll show you how to acquire properties for pennies on a dollar all across the country. You don't want to miss out on that free offer. So without further ado, let's bring TJ to the set. TJ, appreciate you tapping in tonight and sharing your experience with everybody. I mean, I got a ton of questions when we pop this kind of into the Facebook group, and you kind of hit me with these pictures and a note saying, hey, look, I got my first 6-unit deal, which is extremely exciting and something that a lot of people dream about, and you're living it now. And it wasn't too long ago where we kind of first connected through the mentorship program. So appreciate you coming on, and people are excited to hear from you. So why don't you tell people just a little bit about you, kind of where you're from and what got you into real estate?
Yeah, I appreciate it for sure. I remember when I first talked to you, I really didn't have anything. I think I was finishing up my first project. So like a lot has happened since joining, but my name's TJ. I am based out of the Northeast in Massachusetts. And the properties that I have are upstate New York. And then I think I told you, but I also closed on 2 duplexes in New Orleans using the seller financing strategy that we talked about in the mentorship as well.
Yeah.
But this one in particular is upstate New York next to the other one.
Yeah. And the seller financing, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people, they're always like, does this stuff really work? Will people really accept some of these seller financing strategies? What's your response to that?
It does. It's weird because you don't really know how easy it is until you actually start asking questions.
Yeah.
And I think just the questions that you ask anyone in regards to doing like a BRRRR deal or like renovating and talking to vendors and contractors are similar questions that you would ask in seller financing to a degree, right? You're just kind of unpacking more information and figuring out how to help them. And the one thing about the mentorship is being able to utilize multiple tools, and seller financing is just another tool to help them. So it's really kind of going to the essence of what you're kind of referring to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's important to have many tools on your tool belt because the market's always changing. And as it changes, our ability to pivot as investors, this is what makes us super investors versus somebody who most people are just out there pounding the table saying my way is the best way, every other way is horrible. The truth is there are many good ways, and the more that you know, the more you can do, the faster the success you can have. And you're a living example of that, which is amazing. It's a testament to that philosophy. Let's talk about availability. People always ask me this, Brian, how available are you? Or even a better question, when I sign up, once I make that payment, do you like disappear? What's your response there? Have I disappeared on you? Have I been available for you? What are your honest take?
I don't know. I would probably say, I don't know the other students, but I ask you so many questions like on a daily. Like, do you have minutes? You're always jumping on the phone with me. You're always texting back. Like, you're emailing me back. You're like, you're looking over things before I send to the lenders to kind of get my portfolio package, like, presented. Like, you're looking over the budgets. You're constantly there. So like you made yourself incredibly available. And when I did the ride along with you before, you were like just a great resource to bounce ideas and ask questions on. So yeah, It by far exceeded my expectations.
Good. I always enjoy hearing that, and that's what I try to do. I lay out the what comes with the one-on-one mentorship, but sometimes people have to experience it to understand, like, it's a super value add. Like, I'm right there. You won't get somebody who's more on top of just helping you to get through the process than me, because I really love this stuff. So
Mhm.
when you ask me these questions, I love being on the front lines and just jumping into the weeds. What would you say about do you feel that it was worth it now that you've gone through the mentorship program?
Mhm.
um one thing I want you to do first is rate yourself in terms of, like, real estate knowledge from a 1 to 10 before you joined, and then after kind of being in this program now for, let's call it, 6 months plus.
Oh,
Where do you feel now? Like, do you recognize yourself, or if you look back at your old self, do you
mhm.
say, like, wow, that guy didn't know anything, and now I feel
Yeah.
like I know, like, so much, like a different person?
That's a great question. I don't know if I can have like a number per se, but when I first met you, I remember just hiring like a GC who I was complaining about, maybe I've been overcharged like maybe $70,000. And now I'm running my own projects. I'm managing the money. I'm ahead of the money. I'm paying people. I'm understand timelines. I'm managing budgets. I have multiple deals that are happening in different states, and I have systems in place, boots on the ground, ears,
Crazy.
that are following up with me on a daily, um, that are reporting to me. So I don't know if there's a number, but I never even thought this was even possible. So 1,000, but I feel like I'm still learning every single day because I'm always referring back to the videos when I'm in a particular situation.
Yeah. And that's a good energy to be in. Even at times, I feel like because I'm always pushing myself, partially through what I'm doing, because I'm always still investing. I'm always practicing what I preach. But you guys throw me into different questions or different scenarios that draw me back to prior experience, because I've done hundreds of deals. And I feel like I'm, like, re-ingraining knowledge and constantly adding to my knowledge bank through the interactions with you guys and the deals you're working on. But that's a great energy to always be in. It's just that constant learning and improvement type of vibe. So you would say the cost of the mentorship program was definitely worth it in terms of making that investment into your education?
Yeah, that's not even a question. Like the fact that I was able to build in like a builder's fee into the budget has tenfold paid for the mentorship already. So
Crazy.
um yeah, it's not even yeah.
How do you feel about the way that we approached your mentorship? Do you feel like it was cookie cutter, or do you feel like I was really able to customize this thing for your needs, for, like, what you were individually looking to do and build?
Customized. It was tailored. Like I'm not the most advanced person, or I'm probably not, and I know I'm not, and that's fine. And I wasn't necessarily like just starting out, but you met me where I was. And you challenged me. I kept asking questions about, it wasn't like I want to do 100 deals a month. It was, all right, what's the next thing? Here's what you need to look out for. Here's how you master where you're at currently. And you made it a point to make sure that I didn't overlook where I was in front of me. So I felt like it was tailored to me, where I was at.
Good. And I think the last question, at least that I have, is what would you tell somebody who's on the fence? And this is like, I talk to hundreds of people every month, and there are always people who are on the fence about mentorship. Like, say they have this is the person, I'll throw you the avatar. They got $20,000 saved,
Mhm.
and they have mentorship. They can pay to get into a mentorship program and take advantage of that value, or they can go on it their own and take their 20,000. And they're saying, look, I only got 20K. If I spend, a few grand or whatever the cost of mentorship is, now I'm down on my 20K. Or should I just take it and run out and invest it? What would you say to that person?
That was me. I literally told you that on the call. I was like, I have this much money, and if I do it, my fear is I couldn't invest in other property. That you just described me.
Yeah.
So I'm like living proof of that.
Yeah.
So I would tell myself, to do it. I think I'm trying to go by a model that says trust but verify.
Yeah.
And how I like to research a lot of different things before kind of making a decision, or at least making an educated decision. And I would just encourage someone or anyone who is in a particular make that call. It's personal, but also trust that it works, but verify. Like, are there referrals? Go to a group set like class that you offer, right?
Yeah, the live sessions we do pretty
Yeah,
much every Monday that I'll
you get
invite new
free
people to.
content out on YouTube.
Yeah.
I listened and watched several of those before even making a call, or finding out. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of research I would encourage someone to do prior to even signing up to make sure it's right. But for me personally, what you described was exactly me, and I've never regretted it.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Good. That's no, that's definitely important. And how do you feel, lastly, about like my consistency? This is a question I get. People are like, they see me in these YouTube videos, and they're, I'm editing them, by the way. I like to keep my hands on this stuff, but they're like, are you consistent to this person in the video? When people get me on the phone, they're usually like, wow, you sound just like the video. Are you like the same person actually? What are your takes on that? Do you feel like there's any difference really, or I'm just kind of like this all the time?
I would agree. I would say probably, to be honest, you break things down a lot more one-on-one, which is,
Yeah.
you know, it goes without saying. But when I'm with you, I mean, we locked up a seller finance 3 unit together, and I pitched 3 different scenarios, and you broke them down all 3. Um, normally you won't be able to do that on a video or maybe like a
Yeah.
personal call, but like for me, you are the same person. I met you in person. I met you
Yeah.
virtually,
Yeah,
and we do and we text and talk on a consistent basis. So
definitely.
you've been consistent in every level.
Good,
Probably
man.
more detailed when you're one-on-one.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, because I tell people all the time, the reason I created this mentorship program is so that I could give people all the goods. It's hard to give you everything in a cup of coffee or a cash flow strategy session phone call. But when we can carve out that one-on-one time, or a Zoom session, or you come on a ride along, we can spend a day together, we can really get into the weeds and get you advanced. So what you didn't mention is you did that seller financing deal, I mean, overnight. Like, you were in the program only a month or so, and you started cranking through. And that's what I really loved about kind of your energy and your passion for real estate, is that you were willing to push yourself. I will push you as far as you're willing to go, but you were willing to take the knowledge and run with it and really apply it, and see like, wow, I asked a couple questions and people are like, tell me more, I've never heard of this, and it landed you some deals. So kudos to you, man. So any last remarks you would say, just to somebody who's kind of just on the fence about mentorship versus the school of hard knocks? My take is, I got burned for 40 grand by my on my first deal by a contractor. You got overcharged 70 grand on a bid. And the cost of mentorship, as we both know, is a fraction. It's like 1% or some derivative of the cost of getting burned. What would you say to somebody who's just on the fence, like, I don't know if mentorship's worth it, versus trying to learn from the school of hard knocks, figure it out myself, do it myself?
I mean, I think people have been successful the other way. It's just me. I'm not trying to take that road. I'm trying to have, like, I think on the call, it is a financial commitment. And so to me, I wanted to make sure, how do I get the most out of it? How do I get the most value? So the more I feel like I'm challenging you by bringing you opportunity, like learning and bringing you opportunities, the more you're able to challenge me and think differently, which is how I got value from it. I'm not just sitting back and just watching the videos. So it may not be right for everybody, but like I'm growing because I'm taking action and messing and failing and coming to you and figuring out what I could do differently. So I think if that's like the person is motivated by it, then that it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I think you're available for anyone who like is actively trying to like take action.
Yeah. No, I agree. Action takers, I will give you the action steps, necessary to be successful. So I will walk you down the path. I told you my mother goose strategy, I think when we first talked. I'll hold your hand, we'll walk through the park until you push me away. But I will give you all that strategy. But I'm just, really excited on your growth, man. Like my mission with this is to build other developers, people who look like us, come from where we come from, and can go and build communities, C-class neighborhoods, neighborhoods that are blighted, that need to be redeveloped. And to see your growth this fast, and the fact that you're doing multiple deals kind of all over the place, getting 6-unit buildings, it's just exciting for me to sit back and watch, because with your progress, I mean, you could go out and do 50, 100 deals, over the course of time. And however long it takes, doesn't really matter, and become a multimillionaire, create jobs, and do all these things. So it's just exciting for me to kind of sit back and see you run with the knowledge. So I appreciate that effort and energy you put into it, and that keeps me motivated to kind of keep pushing and building others to see, I think, our total impact. I want to be able to pick up that phone one day and say, hey, we're going to Baltimore, we're going to this pocket of Cleveland. I got 100 properties in a zip code. We're gonna carve them up, and we're gonna gut them together.
I already got a picture on the deal.
Yeah. No,
so
definitely.
I'm trying to do everything. I forget one thing I want to mention is that funding is very important, like however you get it.
Yeah.
And I think the greatest thing that you do is that you share, like, people you actually get financing
funding
from. You actually share the same people, and one of your referrals has gotten me 100% financing on that 6-unit. Like, so
and let's drill down on that 100% finance. They gave him 100% of the money to buy and renovate the property. He's paying the friction. And when you come into this game, I'm not only giving you knowledge, I'm giving you the resources and the tools to be successful in the real way. So
straight up,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Like, I didn't really bring any cash in that regard. They funded it within a certain 70%, just like you said in the video. And when I said your name, they gave me great terms. So, that's one I really appreciate, because not a lot of people do that.
Yeah. No, I'm a man of my word with that. I want to connect you guys. I don't take kickbacks from lenders or anything. It's really just on the strength. And I want you guys out there building relationships with these lenders. These are national lenders that you can grow with. And I want you to be successful. I want you to have that leverage, but also know how to use that leverage, how to use 100% and do it effectively like you're doing. So kudos to you, man. Like, taking that stuff and running with it, it's amazing. So look, I don't want to keep you all night. I think I hope you guys appreciated this, hearing from TJ. This is completely unscripted. He didn't even know what questions I was gonna ask. No. So we just jumped on organic as usual, and to have a conversation amongst each other. So hopefully this was valuable. Once again, if you guys are new to the platform, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribed, and I'll send you instant access to my free real estate training that'll show you how to acquire properties for pennies on the dollar all across the country. You don't want to miss out on that free offer. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, signing off. TJ, you have like a sign off or some type of checkout?
No, you're good, man. Not right now. I'm working my way up.
He's working on it. So we'll have it next time. Appreciate you guys, and stay tapped into the channel. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate it.